What's up, Trainiacs? It's that time of year where a lot of people are deciding whether or not they should go into their first triathlon, or maybe you have actually decided, yeah, you're going to do a triathlon. This is the year, 2018. Big, bang, boom, let's do it. Awesome. But in this kind of time frame, a lot of doubts start creeping in about the training or about if you're even capable of it. Well, I've got good news for you. You are, and today, we're going to get you ready for that first triathlon. What's up, everyone? Taryn here. In today's daily triathlon goodness, we're going to talk about the 5 biggest misconceptions that a lot of beginner triathletes have when they start deciding to get into triathlon. And these are obstacles that a lot of people use to say, hey, you know what? I can't do a triathlon. Well, the good news here is that I'm going to tell you, yes, you can do a triathlon, and we're going to give you the resources to be able to do those triathlons and overcome all those challenges, obstacles, opportunities to be a badass. And before we get started, just know that you don't have to go looking for all these videos and resources. They will be in the description below. Now, the first misconception is that a lot of people say that they could never learn how to swim, and that's why they can't do a triathlon. Well, maybe it's because you're afraid of the water. Well, I can confirm 100% that you can go from being afraid of the water to actually being a decent swimmer. I've done a 27 and a 37 open water marathon swim, and that is after being deathly afraid of the water basically since I was a kid. What people need to get over is the thought that when you go into the water, you need to thrash, you need to work hard, and that's scary. You really just have to break it down to the absolute basics of how to breathe easier in the water, how to not panic, how to float so that you're not like maxing out and pumping a whole bunch of adrenaline through your body. And we've done that with a free Learn to Swim program that you can get at triathlontaryn.com/swim drill program. And don't take my word for it. Like, we've had 4,000 or 5,000 people go through that program, and we've had dozens and dozens of emails from people saying that by breaking it all down and just worrying about the basics of not freaking out, breathing easier, floating, that swimming's pretty enjoyable. Second most common misconception is that people say they're not built for running, and they've probably come to this conclusion because of going out for a run or two and all of a sudden everything hurts and they feel clunky and they don't feel fluid. Well, you know who else wasn't built for running? Same thing. I started off running the length of one house, and then I'd walk the length of 2 houses. My first half marathon was a 1:53, and now I've got it down to about a 1:28, finishing 17th overall out of like 6,000 runners in our local half marathon. And it's because I learned the technique of running, pair that nice technique with a little bit of like core strength and stability work, and anyone can run healthily and run fairly fast. Third most common misconception is that people say they don't have time to train for a triathlon. Well, I am going to save you all of the individual stories of the hundreds of thousands of triathletes who are also busy, who manage to do triathlons, and just know that triathlon is filled with A-type, very driven people, and a lot of those types of people have very busy schedules. If you want to do a triathlon and you can get over your excuses to do it, you will make time to do a triathlon. And it doesn't take that much time to do it. At minimum, you could really get away with 3 one-hour workouts a week, go into a local sprint race, and you'll do just fine. It only starts taking up huge amounts of time once you've built up the capability to do that, and that happens over a matter of years, maybe decades. It's not like you've got to go from 0 to 20-hour training weeks. No, you can go from 0 to 3 hours over the course of the week, and then maybe add another half hour. You gradually build up to it. The fourth most common misconception is that you can't do the race until you've bought all the gear, and all that gear is too expensive. Well, that's just incorrect. If you want to buy all the gear, think about it as a gradual process. I've been in it 8-9 years and I'm still accumulating a lot of gear that I have wanted for 8-9 years. Basically, all you need to do your first race is whatever bike you've got in the garage, whatever running shoes and gym shorts you use, rent yourself a wetsuit, buy yourself a cheap set of goggles, and that's it. You're done. For maybe a grand total of $200 to $300, you can go in and do a sprint triathlon very easily. If you start getting into longer races, if you start wanting to go fast, if you decide that you're committed to the sport, then you can worry about purchasing things. But even then, it's not like you have to go and buy everything right away. It's something you do over the course of an entire triathlon career. Think of like your dad or your grandpa and how many tools they've got in the garage. They didn't just get that in the course of like a month because they're like, well, I got to get a garage. I need 90 years worth of tools in here. No, they accumulated it over their entire lifespan. Same thing in triathlon. And the fifth most common misconception is that you don't know where to start. Well, you start by starting. If there's anything that I've learned over the course of interviewing dozens of pros in our Triathlon Terran podcast, which by the way, you should go check out. It's really good. Comes out every Sunday night. We interview pros. We interview industry representatives. Sometimes I'm on there. My wife, No Triathlon Kim, is a co-host. It's really good. It's that almost every pro went into triathlon thinking the same thing, that they didn't know what they were doing. Some of them did their first endurance races on a hybrid bike. Other people had to borrow money to enter their first race. Other people had to borrow bikes to enter their first race. Like, even pros who are at the tippy top pinnacle of the sport and we idolize now, they started off not knowing where to start as well. But they started. And, small tip, we have a triathlon video for you every single day with tips, race coverage, sharing gear reviews, and this is an excellent place to start. So if you aren't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. If you are an existing Trainiac, share this with somebody who you think should do their first triathlon with you. All right, Trainiacs, I'm gonna go. I feel like junk.